Now that we're done calculating top of climb and top of descent, we want to begin picking out some waypoints to use for pilotage. Remember, pilotage is navigating by visual landmarks or waypoints along a route. For example, following a river or a road or flying from major town to town. This flight log will also use dead reckoning for navigation to back up our pilotage. Dead reckoning would be running the calculations, time, speed, distance, how the wind will affect us, what heading we need to fly and for how long. And we'll also show how to get VOR cross-checks to back up our navigation. So every waypoint we have, there should be 3 ways to identify it. A visual landmark, a time elapsed flying a specific heading at a specific speed, and a VOR cross-check. So, we've run calculations and found that our top of climb point will put us 16 miles away from Golf Mike uniform. Looking there, we want to find a noticeable landmark near our point of reference. We can see that we will have just passed the lakes a few minutes prior, and there will be a noticeable golf course off to the right-hand side, as well as the small town of Inman. So, doing a quick measurement, we can see we'll be about 5 miles to the left of Inman. We'll go ahead and put that down as Inman on the right. Now we have our dead reckoning and our pilotage. We also want to use a navigational aid to calculate where that point will be. So looking at our map, we can see the nearest VOR is Spartanburg, Sierra Papa Alpha. So if we line our plotter up just to use as a straight edge with the center of Spartanburg and our top of climb point, we can put a small line there and find where that line crosses the ring of the VOR. Here's the 270 point, the 280 point, 285 point. So it looks like 283 will be the radial of Spartanburg that we will be crossing. So here we'll put Sierra Papa Alpha. That's the nav aid that we're using. And that is the 283 degree radial. If you want, right next to it, we can put the frequency for SPA, which is 115.7, so we won't have to look it up while in flight. Let's do the same thing for our top of descent point. We said at 13 miles prior to Mike Romeo November will be where we begin our top of descent. So if we were to look at the map, we can see our point right here. There will be this large geographic mass that we've just flown over, and a highway that we're paralleling off to our left, as well as a power line we're about to cross. We want to find the most noticeable of all of these landmarks. This large geographical terrain feature seems to be the most noticeable, so crossing over this, we'll call it a small mountain just for ease of writing it here. Crossing small mountain. And when we cross it, it looks like one of the closest VORs we can use will be Barrett's Mountain. That's BZM. And let's find out which radial we will be on. Looking here, we have 270, 260, 250. So approximately the 250 radial from BZM. It's the wrong box. put that down here at the bottom. BZM's frequency is 113.75. All right, now we need to pick the waypoints that will come in between. Typically, we don't want to be flying for a long period of time without having a waypoint. So probably no more than around 10 minutes before you get to another waypoint. So look for a point that will be 10 and 20 miles away from your last waypoint. So this first waypoint is our top of climb. So using the nautical miles side of our plotter, we'll just hold it parallel to our course and look for something very noticeable about 10 to 20 miles away. Now, sometimes we can stretch that a little bit because as you see, 24 miles away is a very noticeable waypoint right there at Rutherford County Airport. So we'll use Rutherford, Foxtrot, Quebec, Delta as our next waypoint. Now our total distance was 68 miles. Our first leg distance was 16 miles. 68 minus 16 is 52 miles remaining. The distance from Inman, our top of climb point near Inman, to our next waypoint, FQD, we said was 24 miles. 24 miles traveled, 52 subtract 24 from that, and we should get 28 miles remaining. Now the distance from Foxtrot, Quebec, Delta to our next point should be our top of descent waypoint. So let's put a mark at Foxtrot, Quebec, Delta, and then measure how much distance using the nautical mile side of our plotter from there to top of descent. And we find that it is 15 miles. 15 miles from Foxtrot, Quebec, Delta would leave 13 miles remaining. And if we look down here, 13 miles is the distance from our top of descent to our destination. So the math checks out. Now, we're not going to be using this waypoint, or any of these others. So we're going to cross out the information in those boxes so that we're not using them during our flight.